Welcome to your weekly wrap-up brought to you by The Know. As we know, Texas experienced devastating storms last week and the situation remains dire. Millions of people are still without power and almost 12 million people are under boil notices, meaning they can't drink water without boiling it first, which is hard to do if you don't have power. President Biden declared a state of emergency in Texas on February 14th and sent in FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, to help. In their coverage of the crisis, The Know explained to us what makes the situation in Texas so unique and, of course, political. So there are three main power grids in the US, one in the West, one in the East, and one for Texas. Texas wanted to have its own power grid, independent of federal regulation, so theirs is managed by a private company called ERCOT instead. The reasons for this are both ideological, Texans really value their independence and self-reliance, and it's also practical. Texas is big enough and it has a lot of national resources to do this. Being independent of the Fed has its upsides. The state is able to innovate and build new technologies at a faster rate. They're the nation's leader in wind power, for example. But on the flip side, when a crisis hits, they're on their own. So when the grid broke down this week, they weren't able to bring in energy across state lines like other states can. What's my take? Private companies operate on a basic model, economic model of supply and demand. If there's a market for something, they're going to reach it. But they have little, if any, incentive to produce something that isn't profitable. Why would ERCOT spend a ton of money on preventative measures to protect the grid against snow in a state that rarely ever snows? This is where government usually steps in to do things that might not make economic sense, but provide for the safety and well-being of citizens. This is what we pay our taxes for, after all. But to bring it back to Texas, I'm not here to make a case for or against the independent power grid. I obviously don't know enough to have much of an opinion. I just mentioned this to you to give you the bigger picture as to why these storms have been so devastating, because this is a pretty unique situation in our country. The Know has been keeping us up to date on the situation in Texas, as well as all the other big political news. My heart goes out to everyone in Texas, and I truly hope that you get the relief that you need soon. There is a link below with a list of organizations that you can donate to. So if you can donate time, money, anything that you can do to help, Texas needs us. This video was made in partnership with The Know. If you want more politics in under 5 minutes, subscribe to their daily newsletter at theknow.io. Thank you for watching. See you next week.